Warning, the following podcast is a shit show, and the individuals you are about to meet are idiots. Their opinions, anecdotes, and advice contain zero nutritional value. This is the critical human condition and all of its strangeness. This is life, according to an idiot.
Hey everybody, welcome to According to an Idiot, episode 9 of our podcast. We're almost to those sweet double digits.
Yeah.
So close.
We're getting there.
I am the new... It's Kaylee.
I'm Jeremy.
That range.
I hope you guys like that. I'm pretty much an opera singer in my spare time.
Yeah, I like to sing like La La Land music in my car.
Do you play instruments? Do you sing?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. I've always really wanted to learn how to play violin. I learned piano for a little while, played guitar for a little while too. Mm-hmm. The thing with me is I like to be challenged, and as soon as I feel like I'm not challenged, I get bored. I always loved the sound of a violin. I've always thought about buying a violin and just like learning. I think when I watched Phantom of the Opera on Netflix, they had like a anniversary edition where they filmed them doing the actual play. I loved it so much. I was like, I'm fucking getting a violin. Well, I never did, but I listened to that soundtrack like every day for like a month.
Well, so you liked Phantom of the Opera. What are your thoughts on the 2000 Disney Channel film Phantom of the Megaplex?
Never heard of it.
Oh my god. Seriously?
No, what is it?
Oh my god. That's right up there with Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, wow.
It was terrible. It was a terrible movie. Mickey Rooney was in it, though.
Were you ever a Goosebumps kid?
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you know the episode I'm talking about, or the movie maybe, where they had a play and then there was a phantom? And the phantom was like actually a janitor or something? I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, well.
I think that was a dream you had.
No, I watched it recently.
In a dream?
And not in a dream.
Kaylee, you need to understand that when you go to bed at night and close your eyes and see things, it's not movies. They're called dreams.
I'm gonna look it up right now, and you're gonna feel so.
So moral of the story,
so
Kaylee needs to be musically challenged because she is mentally challenged.
Phantom of the Auditorium.
Phantom of the Auditorium sounds a lot like they ripped it off of the 2000 gem Phantom of the Megaplex.
They have a video. Do you want to watch a minute video?
I don't know, but TV.com gave Phantom of the Megaplex an 8.6 out of 10.
They have Goosebumps on Netflix, and now that like fall's getting in.
Oh, I
getting
can't
up
wait.
In this bitch, I'm gonna have goosebumps and chill.
Speaking of something kind of creepy, and this is not creepy, I found something really interesting. But do you want to know the old-fashioned ways to undo bad luck after walking under a ladder?
Sure.
I was doing a job at this house where somebody was doing maintenance outside and they had a ladder.
Okay.
And at one point I had to walk under the ladder, and I was like, this is bad luck.
Oh, you like believe that stuff?
No, I don't. But like part of me does, like 1% where I'm like, well, what if it is? And this is the movie where I'm that guy that goes, this isn't real at all.
Think about it though. 7 years for walking under a ladder, like that's some bullshit.
I thought that's for an umbrella.
I thought it was for ladders.
No, I think the ladders you just die.
Like breaking them. What?
I think with ladders you just get emphysema and then you die. So I actually looked it up first on like why ladders are so unlucky. Mm-hmm. It's stupid. When a ladder is leaned against a wall, what does it make? It makes a triangle. 3 points. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, the Holy Trinity. When you walk under a ladder, you're breaking the Holy Trinity. Here's the real reason, though. When you think about it, what does a ladder normally mean? Some sort of construction high up. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, some idiot with a hammer up on a ladder, if he screws up, whatever, he drops a hammer. Walking under a ladder, it just makes you more susceptible to get injured.
Or that's what the Illuminati spread because they didn't want false positives when they're trying to communicate with each other about Illuminati meetings. They put up a ladder against a building and it means meeting here. Mm-hmm. But like if a bunch of nincompoops have a bunch of ladders and people are walking under them, then they're like, there ain't no meeting here. This is bullshit.
The problem with it, though, is that I was trying to not say that because I didn't want to become a target. And you just said that, making both of us a target.
You can always cut it, but I bet you won't. No balls.
I have to keep it in. So here's some ways from the olden days that rhymed to undo bad luck that comes from walking under a ladder. These are ridiculous. Number 1, make a wish as you walk under the ladder.
I wish I didn't get bad luck.
Number 2, walk backwards under the ladder. Number 3, put your thumb between your index and middle finger as you walk under the ladder. Number 4, say bread and butter as you walk under the ladder. Number 5, spit on your shoe, but don't look at the spit until after it has dried.
Ew.
Number 6.
After it's dry? That's
After
a
it's dry.
long time.
Well, I mean, no. Well, if it's a.
Why would I
if
do
it's
that
hot
when I
enough
can
out-
just like pinch my fingies together?
What if you don't have any fingies to pinch?
Then I'll walk backwards.
It gets better. Spit 3 times between the rungs of the ladder.
Ew.
This is why we had plagues. Because
Yeah,
people,
that's gross.
saliva was apparently a solution to everything.
Also, people chucked their poop out their windows.
Windows?
Their windows.
Out their windows. And here's, I think you'll like this one.
Mm-hmm.
After you walk under it, cross your fingers and keep them crossed until you see a dog.
What if you live in the middle of nowhere, though, and you never see another dog?
You get emphysema. Nothing else you can do, sorry.
I'm gonna get an evil ladder tattooed on my arm. Can I ever show you the ghost sandal or the possessed umbrella tattoos I want to get?
Those sound like underused emojis.
Okay, so in Japan, they're like ghosts and like demons, like spooky things are called yokai.
Yeah, yokai.
So there's one possessed umbrella. They also have a ghost sandal. They also have one for a hairy appearance, which basically looks like a very hairy penis. And they have one for like a peeping Tom.
I'm most like intrigued by hairy appearance.
Once I show you the picture, you'll be like, oh, I can see why that's scary.
I know the one about the lady with the mask.
Yeah.
That asks if she's pretty, and if you say no comment or something.
Yeah,
I don't
can't
know.
remember.
Oh, that's cool looking. That's the possessed umbrella. That's
Yeah,
badass.
That's
Those are
the
cool.
fluffy, hairy appearance.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like a hairy dick.
So with this woman I think it's her right there. With this woman, she'll take off her mask and she looks hideously deformed. And she'll ask, am I pretty? If you say yes, you're lying and she'll eat you.
Yeah.
If you say no, you're rude and she'll eat you. But if you say, I think if you ask her if you're pretty or something.
No, it's like, I think if you say no, then she'll like leave you alone.
She eats you if you say no.
Let me Google it.
I think if you walk under a ladder, she will go away.
What's her name?
Gwen. I love folklore like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's super creative and like very strange.
I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah. You guys look it up. How about
Look
that?
up some Japanese yokai.
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah,
There's a fly in the room.
it's like a helper fly. But yeah, I want to have like one sleeve of just like Japanese stuff. Bizarre Japanese ghosts.
That's cool. Yeah, it is.
You ever watch Spirited Away?
Yeah, I love Miyazaki.
I love... But... You know the dragon, the water spirit?
Yeah.
I want to get that like on my hip, like to cover up my hip scars.
That's cool.
Not that you need to do that. Have you watched the new Studio Ghibli film? It's Mary and the Witch's Flower.
You know I haven't.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli just came out with a new movie. It's very similar to like a Spirited Away, Harry Potter, kind of like Howl's Moving Castle, kind
Like
of
Kiki's
jumble.
Delivery Service?
No.
Because she was a witch.
I really liked Mary and the Witch's Flower. They're having
Where's
like
that available?
I watch on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there.
When'd you watch it?
Maybe like a few weeks ago. But basically, it's this girl and like her parents moved to like this new house and she finds this weird flower. And she figures out that it gives her like witchy powers. So she gets transported to like this magical school where they're like, yeah, you're a witch. And we can teach you how to do a bunch of cool witchy things.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Star Wars.
Star Wars. So I would recommend. I've never seen Princess Monaco. And I know that's like a huge one.
That's a really good one.
Everyone says it's like the best one. Castle in the Sky.
See, that one I was never that into. I thought it was good, but
Meh.
actually, you know what? That was a good one. I really like the art style. I
Yeah,
wasn't a
liked the
fan of
art.
Nausicaa.
Which
And,
one's that about?
Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind or something.
Oh, okay.
It was based off a 1970s like manga.
Yeah, I
it
haven't
was
watched
very
that one.
dry, super dry.
I'm gonna go home and watch Princess Monaco now because I feel ashamed.
It's really, really good.
Oh, damn it.
Did you get it?
No.
No, there's a fly in this.
It's like a gnat. It's not really.
It's like probably like a gnat or like a baby fruit fly.
Yeah.
I want to kill this
real
baby really bad.
I want to kill this baby so bad.
You have
You
no
know-
idea.
I think children are overrated.
You said this, I want to say almost every episode. I really want to hammer that home. Kids aren't that big of a deal.
I know. I'm not making a very good impression on your parents.
Why are they overrated this time?
I guess we won't go into it if I've already
I think they're
complained about
I
them
think they're
enough.
underrated. Or
What?
maybe they're just rated. I think they're just rated.
They're just
Because children
yeah.
are literally the future of humanity. So I think they're very important. We need to
Yeah,
raise
but, like,
them in a
damn,
certain
they're
way.
such a pain in the ass, and they're so gross.
Yeah, but they're not though.
There.
Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was a pain in the ass, and I was
Were you?
gross.
Gross, yeah. But like at the same time, I don't know. Me and my brother were like weirdly behaved little boys. So maybe I'm just an outlier here, but
I mean,
I'm talking pre-angst.
I was really well behaved, but also I love to argue. I literally like popped out arguing.
My mom always said that I was like always a skeptic. Because one time when I was like 3 or 4, I was very skeptical about the existence of Santa Claus. And I was like, I was like, I know you're lying to us. And then my brother, who's always been like a very trustworthy guy, trusting and trustworthy, but trusting. He was like, no, Jeremy, Santa Claus is totally real.
They wouldn't lie to us.
Yeah, they would never lie to us. And he was like, 3 years older than me. So one time I went down to the basement and I found a roll of Christmas wrapping paper that had been used to wrap our presents. And I brought it upstairs and I was like, see, Zach, this is proof that Santa Claus is not real. And my mom was petrified because she was like, oh my God, the 4-year-old found us out. Like, it's all going down. He's going to ruin it for the,
for everybody else.
For the older guy. But Zach like diffused it with his own like denial. He was like, no, that's Mom and Dad leave that out for Santa Claus to help him wrap the present. It's not. And then I was like, okay. I was like, you make a good
You can
point.
believe what you want.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I was like the same way, but I was more of like, I'm going to catch him in the act. I was like, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to catch him putting the presents under the tree.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was hoping this would end differently. No, I never did.
No,
Santa's real. I don't know.
So I stay up till like midnight, 1 a.m. or something. But at that point, I had to pee so bad. I could not hold it in anymore. And I'm like, I can't bust it yet. Like...
It being the nut.
It being the nut. The whole operation, I was like, I'm going to out myself. She's going to know that I purposely stayed up just to like out that Santa isn't real. And then she'll punish me and not give me my gifts. And I cannot let that happen. So the reasonable thing was that I pissed my bed so that I would not have to get up and use the bathroom and she would see me.
You just slept in your piss.
I didn't get found out. My parents never knew.
They're just like, it was like pissing you.
Right, and then after my parents, like my mom went to bed and I got up and I saw the presents under the tree and I was like, I knew it. And then I went to bed.
You returned to your pissed-stenched bedroom, and you said this was a win for science and deductive reasoning.
Yeah, and I was like, I win. I figured it out.
Yep, you definitely won
with
there.
no cost to myself.
One time, my mom could tell I was getting extra skeptical, and I was like, Mom, it doesn't add up. I don't get the whole Santa Claus thing. And she said, well, Santa Claus will only come as long as you believe in him. And I was like... I think I rediscovered my faith in Santa Claus. Yes, that was that. And then I think that was a valuable lesson, because sometimes in life, you need to pretend to have faith.
I kind of had something similar, but I didn't tell my parents that. I told the teachers. And I was like, yo, teacher, I think my parents are lying to me. I need you to tell me the truth. And they're like, well, Santa will only give you presents if you believe. So you better believe. And I'm like, The
teachers were there to educate you and tell you the truth, so they didn't tell you the truth.
When I became cognizant and started thinking for myself, which I remember to be around like 17. 17. I was like, the Santa Claus getting around the entire world and stopping at every single house in a single night doesn't seem very plausible to me.
Makes no sense.
And they're like, don't worry about it. Just like believe and then you'll get presents.
It's teaching blind faith. Mm-hmm. And that it's fun. Parents always say like, hey, by the way, Santa Claus isn't real, but... wasn't that fun? It made your Christmas better. It's like,
no,
yeah,
it didn't.
I think it did kind of, but like...
But also...
It would have been fun. I'm getting presents. It would have been fun either way.
Right. I feel like you kind of grow up thanking this invisible person when really it's your parents the whole time. You know what I mean?
would totally be too egotistical of a parent to be like, yeah, somebody else did all of this. Part of me would just be like, it was me. I made all your dreams come true.
Did you
Don't
like
you
this
love?
present?
Don't
I
you
got
love me?
you.
I mean, most traditions, if you overanalyze them, are stupid. It's just culture.
Right.
It's just cute. It's fun. It's something that we all have in common throughout the generations.
Foolish consistency.
Yeah, hell yeah. Most of life is foolish consistency.
Yeah. Why are we doing literally any of the things that we're doing right now?
In existence.
Other than it's
hunting,
just because
eating,
it was
surviving.
done before.
Yeah. Outside of surviving and like procreating or whatever you want to do to sustain yourself, everything else is just like for shits and giggles. Like, why are we doing this podcast right now? Fun.
Family traditions too. Why do every Christmas we eat French toast in the morning? It's because we always have French toast.
Oh, we don't eat French toast.
So I feel like now's a good time to bring up our first viewer question.
That's right.
Woo.
I never thought this day would come.
I never thought it would come either. So it's from JR. JR, if you're listening to this, thank you for the question. So have you ever seen Benjamin Button?
Yeah, of course.
Are you familiar with the premise? So the question is, how the fuck does that happen? You start off as an old man and then you become a baby.
Well, okay. If we're talking about the short story, which I believe was F. Scott Fitzgerald, I'm pretty positive. In the book, he literally just straight up comes out of the womb as a full-grown old man.
That doesn't make sense, though. Because the woman would be destroyed.
It would tear your mother apart.
Right. But then the other thing is, he is an old man that becomes a baby. So what the fuck happens to his insides to where he becomes an infant? Is he like a caterpillar where he just liquidizes himself on the inside and can reconstruct himself as a baby? What's happening to his bones? Are they just
how are they growing backwards? Well, okay, so I'm going to go by the movie's logic because I feel like that's the most like medically believable. In the movie, he comes out as baby size, but he's old and wrinkly, like an old man, old fart. His body grows like from baby to man to baby again. His body grows in the right way, except for in the middle part where he starts becoming a baby again.
Yeah.
But don't we kind of shrink anyways over time?
But that's because the space in between like your vertebrae is like degrading and all that shit. You'll shrink some inches, but it's not going to be 5 feet. And it's not because your vertebrae's decompressing. It's just because they're shrinking. So if you think about it, you have your arm bone.
It's called the tibia.
That's not what it is.
Oh, it is. Guys, write it down. Take notes. It's called the tibia. Tell your
You
teachers.
don't know where I'm pointing on my arm.
Yeah, she's pointing to the leg part of her arm.
Yeah. So if you have your arm bone and then it's becoming baby arm bone,
Yeah.
what part is going away?
And does one limb start to grow shorter sooner than the rest? In which case, that's hilarious. Like at 45, my arms are going
baby torso
first.
and then really long legs.
Yeah, like you have T-Rex arms, but normal everything else. Like, God damn, this is so embarrassing. I'm 45 years old. Why is this happening? I don't know. I mean, I would have to do with genes, right? Something in your DNA.
When you're a baby, it just like builds on your bone.
Yeah.
But like getting rid of it.
Okay, think about what makes bones smaller. Acid.
Yeah.
That's why the baby's always crying.
Right.
It's not because he's a baby. It's because his bones are almost fully dissolved. He has a great deal of pain. He's asking for help.
Also the skin, right? Because he's wrinkly and then he turns like baby smooth.
I mean, this is way above my pay grade.
I'm speaking from science person point of view.
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense.
That's why it's the curious case of Benjamin Button.
But
Because
it's not curious.
It's curious because we don't know what's
It's
going
not curious. It's just like.
on. Oh, it's curious.
No sense.
I am. My curiosity is piqued when I talk about it. It's curious.
Right, but not in a good way. It's like, damn.
Have you seen the movie though?
Yeah.
That's an excellent movie.
Okay, so I got some science for us. And it's actually kind of related to what we were talking about earlier with human genes.
Blue jeans.
If you let me get to it, I'll tell you all about it.
That's right. Okay, yeah. Science corner, everybody.
Science is cool, and today we are cool. Boom! Wow. Okay.
Great.
So I'm taking a genetics class right now.
Way to brag.
And I kind of love it. I'm super interested in it. So I was actually just learning about stuff like this. So when I found this article, I was like, "Ooh, this is cool stuff." So basically,
And you said it out loud, and everyone was like, "What are you talking about?"
I know, they're like, "What the fuck?" So the human genome is like all the DNA and like genes that make us us. And you would think that because of like how complex we are, we would have a ton of like different genes in our genome. But actually, scientists estimate that there are about 20,000 genes in our DNA that encode for all the proteins, all the RNA, pretty much everything to like make our body what it is. Hair color gene, eye color gene, like if you think about it, it's only 20,000 of those.
That's not a lot.
I think it's like salamanders have like 400,000. Like we have a ton of like DNA, but we don't have a lot of genes.
We need to cash in like our DNA chips. I think we probably stacked them up over the centuries. We're due for some new genes.
But there was just a recount of it this month, and they upped the number to at least 46,000.
Okay, wow.
Which is a lot more
Does that mean that they were always there? We just couldn't.
Right. Well, it's like a recount. So the exact definition is a little fuzzy. It's been a while since you've taken biology.
And failed it. Yeah.
And failed it. DNA is our double helix that makes us and our chromosomes and all that stuff. So when our cells divide and we need more proteins or something, then RNA, which is like a template of DNA, will be made. And then your RNA will get the other strand and they're like, oh, we'll make some like protein from it. I
am about as lost as an unsupervised 4-year-old in Walmart.
I'm sorry, I'm not explaining it very well.
No, I think you are. It's just that I'm lacking the vocab.
Yeah.
Or the capacity.
Basically, it goes from DNA to RNA and then to protein.
Okay.
Are the steps. So they found that some genes transcripts will just stop at RNA and won't fully become a protein. So that upped the number up from the 20,000 up to about 46,000 genes. And we thought it was 20,000 for a really fucking long time.
Like up until when? Like right now?
Yeah, like up until like this recount and that.
Damn. I don't understand what that even means.
How long did it take me to explain? All right, here's the very condensed version. DNA, 2 strands. Boom, you got like the helix thing. In between are the base pairs that you always see.
Like the steps.
Yeah, like the little steps.
Yes, I'm getting it.
Exactly. So like if you had one strand, it has steps. And then if you had the other strand, it has steps. And they like connect together. And they're complementary. Yeah. All this DNA, like the sequences, are your genes.
The steps?
Yeah, the steps. The genes are the steps.
Oh
so if your cell's like, I need another one of me, I need you to copy it. It'll split apart.
God, I think I'm autistic.
So basically, we have a whole lot more genes than we originally thought. We still have so many genes, we don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Whoa, we got a whole lot of just random shit in our body.
I got some shit in my body.
I do too, from that Thai food.
Hell yeah.
Alright, you got some spooks?
I got a spook squad for you.
Alright.
This is a good one too, I think.
A spook squad. Ooh.
Okay.
Forgot to mention, we're doing this weekly now. So, hi. Surprise.
Hi, surprise.
You probably didn't expect this, but here we are.
Here we are. You didn't even know we were going to be here, and we're here for you.
Here.
Waiting for you. So, Kaylee, have you ever heard of the Nain Rouge?
The what?
The Nain Rouge?
Ooh, is this French?
It's French. That wasn't a French accent, I don't think. It's known as the Demon of Detroit, or the Red Dwarf.
Ooh, okay.
So Nain is French for dwarf, and Rouge obviously is French for red, so the Red Dwarf. Mm-hmm. It's typically described as a small red imp with a cold stare and frightening face. Other first-hand accounts describe the Nain Rouge as a small creature with red or black fur covering an animal's body, but with the face of an old man.
Ooh.
Is that fucked up or what? And also, everyone makes a point of remarking on its, quote, blazing red eyes and rotten teeth.
Ew.
I know, it's disgusting. Most historians believe the creature to be a combination of Native American and French colonial beliefs. So like the French settlers came there with their own little demon beliefs, and then the Native Americans had like a stone god. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of French and Native American like storytelling. They commingled because they traded with each other and stuff and lived on each other's land. You see this shit? And they're like, yeah, we saw this shit. It's this. And the French are like, no, I think it's this. And they're like, how about it's both? Yes, something we can finally agree upon. Right. By the way, we're going to murder you. You're probably wondering, what's the big deal about this Nain Rouge? He sounds kind of cute.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and he is really cute.
Do you have a picture of him?
No, because he's not real. No. I mean, he's probably real. So the thing about the Nain Rouge, there's been several major Nain Rouge spottings, and it's always before some terrible fate befalls. Some terrible fate befalls. I'm saying it like goofy. Here are some moments where the Nain Rouge was spotted.
Okay.
The creature is said to have appeared on July 30th, 1763, before the Battle of Bloody Run, where 58 British soldiers were killed by Native Americans. Supposedly, the Nain Rouge, quote, danced among the corpses on the banks of the Detroit River, and the river turned red with blood for days after. Also, several utility workers claimed to have seen the Nain Rouge just before the 1967 riots. That's pretty much changed Detroit with the riots.
Okay.
In the 60s. Are you aware of that?
No.
Detroit was on its way to become like the next Chicago. It was like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit. Those were like the main cities.
I knew that, but I didn't know why it like crumbled.
Yeah, and then
I just assumed it was like the auto
tensions with. I guess just I'm sure there's a better explanation for this, but mainly just racism, racial tensions.
Oh, God, it's still not eliminated. What do you mean?
Well, no, it's actually worse.
So they saw the little old red man.
Yeah, utility workers saw him dancing in the city before it happened. On top of that, there was also sightings before a severe ice storm in 1976. Unlike most storms like it, this lasted 3 days and accumulated over 3 inches of ice on the ground. The ice storm was the worst in Michigan's recorded history.
So, like, what happens when people spot him? Like, what is he doing?
He dances and laughs and sings. I mean, allegedly. But the thing is, there haven't been any, like, modern... After 1973, is that what I said?
78?
76.
76.
The truth lies between us.
All right.
After that, there was no like genuine sightings that could be, accountable. The Nain Rouge first entered the regional zeitgeist when it began terrorizing Detroit's founder, Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac, which is where the name Cadillac comes from. Cadillac was a French officer that established Fort Detroit as a prominent trading post in the 1700s. Cadillac once went to a fortune teller in 1701 after being plagued by reoccurring dreams of a red dwarf with horrible teeth. After being warned that he'd been dreaming of the Nain Rouge, a monster that means bad luck, Cadillac was told to be weary of these premonitions. Legend has it that Cadillac finally came face to face with the Nain Rouge and struck it with his cane, screaming at it to get away from him. There's something weird with this guy. Not soon after, Cadillac was kicked out of power and his fortune crumbled. He eventually returned to France poor. Now, this is actually the really cool part, is every year in the city of Detroit, they hold a parade called Marche du Nain Rouge. It's like very much like a Mardi Gras style.
Okay.
Everybody dresses up in like 1800s like French bourgeois style clothing. So pretty much the whole point of it is to like cast out the Nain Rouge.
Right.
So bad luck doesn't come to the city. You hurl insults at it. So here's the little thing. So the this is on the website for Marche du Nain Rouge. The Nain Rouge has been a harbinger of doom since the time of Detroit's founding. Each year we hold a parade in the Cass Corridor to trick the Nain with our terrible French and costumes. Join us at noon on March 24th, 2019 at the corner of Canfield and 2nd as we march to the Masonic Temple. And it's like a lot of people just having fun. You bring your friends. Look at that float. That's awesome, right?
We should go to that.
Yeah, totally. So on this website, it says, have something to say to the Nain? Here's your chance to add to the witty barbs we will sling at him on the parade on social media. Share your taunt with us. So you click this button, you can like type in like an insult to throw at the Nain Rouge. But that was cool. It's the Nain Rouge. It's Detroit's only real piece of monster folklore.
I like that.
There's a local Detroit brewery that has like one of their famous, I want to say it's like an amber ale. I could be wrong. But it's called the Red Dwarf, and there's a picture of the Nain Rouge on it.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear when I finish. A long-winded story. Yeah,
I know.
cool.
I want to go to that parade, though.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's a cool little part of like our local culture.
Yeah, that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
But apparently is a pretty big thing.
And with that, you guys, that just about marks it up to the end of this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Make sure you send in some questions
keep the
according to an
questions
idiot.
coming.
You can email us at accordingtoanidiot@gmail.com. You can tweet us at idiotsaccord, and our Instagram is also according to an idiot. Holler at us. Thank you guys for listening, and turn into an infant.
Turn into an infant and chase all the little red boys you can find.
You'll feel better.
And try to learn about DNA.
Yeah.
I should be a natural at it because it's in my DNA.
Boom. Bye.
See you guys. Goodbye.